and welcome to Plastic Free North Devon Business Bites, which it aims to shine a bit of a light on some of the amazing local businesses that we have in the area, to inspire others to be a bit more sustainable and share best practice. We know that there's never any kind of silver bullet to becoming more sustainable, but there is lots of little things that we can all be doing. And we're going to kick this conversation off starting with Justin from 51 Degrees Coffee, who's going to talk to us a little bit about his business, some of the kind of main trigger points of why and how he's become more sustainable, and some kind of learning points from which he wants to share with others. So, hi Justin.
Hello there, you're right.
Good. So first of all, Justin, we would like to hear a little bit about the history of your business. How did it come to fruition, essentially?
Yeah, so basically I'm a kind of specialty coffee business based here in Bournemouth, North Devon. I basically serve specialty grade coffee at my little eco-friendly van, and I've recently opened up a little coffee shop too. We try and work in a nutshell with as many local businesses as we can and try and be as sustainable as we can. Yeah, that's about all.
Absolutely. So we met Justin through the Plastic Free Communities programme, which we started running back in 2017, and we were signing off local businesses as plastic free through the Surfers Against Sewage framework, and Justin was one of our very first businesses. So yeah, he's been with us from the beginning, and we've seen him grow and he's seen us grow, and yeah, so good times between us. So the other thing that we like to talk about is what are the ethics and ethos behind your business, and how did that develop?
Well, basically, I just touched on it there. I love coffee. I'm absolutely obsessed with coffee, and I wanted to start up my business, but I wanted to work with as many local producers and businesses as I could that kind of shared the same passion as me. So if they had a product or whatever they were doing, if they kind of ticked the boxes, then I wanted to work with them. And then kind of over the time, I've worked with a few kind of businesses, and we've built up a real good relationship. So yeah, it's kind of grown from there really. So I try and pick out businesses that are kind of really sustainable and do tick all the boxes. And try and work with people in the Southwest as much as possible, so I can kind of visit them and build up a bit of a rapport with them.
Excellent. So yeah, you've kind of been doing that right from the offset, haven't you? So right from the start of your business, you've been looking to do that right from the beginning. Okay, so what particular, we touched on it there a little bit about the local suppliers, but what particular tools have you used on your journey that you think other businesses could follow?
I would absolutely say keep it local. You know, I think localism, even though I don't like to use that word too much, is kind of key, especially at the moment in these current times. I think we need to start looking what's around us. We've got some amazing producers, some amazing businesses, some amazing coffee roasters too. And I think if we all start to work with them as much as we can, you know, there's going to be some times when we can't work with the local business. We may need to look a little bit further afield, but I think we should definitely at least first try and see if we can work with those local businesses from the start. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's kind of looking around. Your first port of call is kind of looking around locally before you have to start looking at further afield and weighing up the kind of pros and cons to using those services. And I think you're right. The way that lockdown is and the way that things are kind of are at the moment, it's just really important to invest more locally in what we have to kind of prompt up the economy and create more opportunity for local people as well. I think it's really inspiring what you've done so far. And also I was thinking it's your USP as well. Like people know that you do that, and people love the fact that you do that. And I can imagine that lots of people kind of come to you because of those factors as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think because I probably factored it in from the start. So I factored in my costs, you know, it costs me slightly more money to use vegware, compostable products. It costs me slightly more money to use the local farm where I get my milk from, you know, where I don't need to, I can take my jerry cans there and just get them filled up instead of constantly having plastic milk cartons to try and recycle those. So I kind of factored that in from the start. And you know, when I explain this to people, then yeah, they're kind of very much on board, and they love the fact what I'm doing, you know. So yeah, it's good all round, you know. It's good for me, good for the customer, and good for the other businesses that I work with.
Yeah, it's great that even customers are starting to take that on board as well, and kind of more and moving more towards those businesses that are doing those things. It's kind of creating a nice whirlwind of kind of local opportunity and
Yeah.
business. So the other thing that we want to talk to you is just some of the challenges that you've had to face. Obviously, following this business model would have you would have had, and what are the solutions that you might have to some of those?
Some of the challenges that we've had, obviously, we've had lockdown, which is an obvious challenge. Then you know, we've got the whole kind of people not wanting to use their bring their reusable cups to me because they were told not to. I've actually kind of from the start I've been accepting reusable cups. I feel that as long as the cups are clean when they come to me, and I blast them with steam and then clean my hands and stuff, then I don't see why there's no reason not to use reusable cups. So I'd rather do that than give out one of mine, even though they are compostable. So that's a challenge. And I guess obviously we're using more and more plastic with the anti-bac. A lot of masks, face masks, I'm getting in my bins each day. So I obviously sort out my bins and kind of work out what I can recycle and what I can't. Yeah, that's an issue. But I think from my point of view, one of the biggest issues it comes down to my cups that I use. I use vegware, I use compostable cups. I try and break some of them down at home in my composter. But obviously, it would be nice to have some kind of community composter or something like that. If we could try and kind of get funding, or there should maybe each community should have one of these, I guess. So that's a challenge. I think that's always going to be a challenge until we can move forward on that and the government kind of get behind it and get their backside into gear, you know.
So they create some sort of legislation that makes it illegal to have one in your town or village.
Yeah, yeah.
I think, like you say, like people are using stuff, and yeah, we need a route for it as well. We need a waste route that's sustainable, and we don't have it at the moment. And then it's something that's absolutely needed.
No, not at all.
Well, any lovely local coffee shops out there as well need that as well. Then maybe we can batter our heads together. Okay, and then the final thing, then, Justin, is just have you got any specific advice or tips that other businesses could maybe take on just to kind of help on their sustainability journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I keep touching on this, but I think for me the biggest one is just to build up relationships with local suppliers, keep it local as much as you can, you know, and it works both ways, you know. For example, the coffee roasters that I use are from the southwest, so I can go and visit them. We can try out different coffees, build up a rapport with them, you know, as opposed to getting it a lot further afield, you know, where you don't have that relationship. So yeah, definitely for me, you know, build up a relationship, keep it local. Obviously try and cut out on the single-use plastics as much as you can. And yeah, just keep current and yeah, just do what you can do in these difficult times, I guess.
Yeah, I think you're right. That last thing that you just said is that we know, yeah, times are tough for everyone, and I think, you know, we just have to all do what we can and not feel too guilty about not doing everything. And that's businesses and individuals together. And I just think it's for you, Justin, one of the most amazing things that I've always picked up on is just your passion for what you do and for the service you provide. And I think it really comes across in the business that you've built up. And yeah, we love it, and we love coming to you for coffee. And thank you for taking the time to come and speak to us. And hopefully you guys that are listening enjoyed it too. And if you need to find Justin and his coffee, you can find him outside Tesco on most weekdays, and also his little cafe just by the gym at the back.
Yeah, that's just opened up. Come, we do amazing bagels now as well.
Locally sourced bagels from Appledore Bakery, I think.
Yeah, Appledore, yeah, keeping it local.
Keeping it local. Okay, thanks, Justin.
My pleasure.